Karoline Leavitt yesterday was having a day. She was going through it, trying to explain away Donald Trump's abject incompetence, his public incompetence. And this specific set of clips I'm getting ready to show you are about, well, it's two clips, are about tariffs, of course, because Donald Trump is now backing away. He's retreating from his position. He's just a coward who can't handle the heat. He realizes now everybody gets, the jig is up. Everybody understands who he is. Even Republicans are waking up to the fact that his tariff policy is costing them thousands and thousands of dollars in retirement. It's costing them at the gas pump. It's costing them at the grocery store. And he promised on day one that he would solve this problem. And Karoline Leavitt was on Fox News, of all places, being grilled a little bit, asking about what the timetable is here. You know, Donald Trump's, he's been ambiguous about it. And her answer leaves so much to be desired. But she starts off so flummoxed that she's saying, let me be clear. The president has been very clear. Get it straight. Let me be clear. Donald Trump has been very clear. It's pretty great. Watch this.
Let me be clear. There will be no unilateral reduction in tariffs against China. The president has made it clear.
You caught that, right? The first time I heard it, I wasn't sure what the hell she was talking about. She says, let me be clear. The president has been very clear. Not a lot of clarity, although with their words, you would think it would be very clear, even though it is most certainly not. Anyway, we'll play it in its full glory here. And even the Fox News hosts aren't really buying it.
Karoline, let's see if we can break a little news here. What's the timetable for the reduction in the tariffs against China? The president was ambiguous about it. Scott Bessent seemed to suggest it wouldn't happen until negotiations are at least underway.
Let me be clear. There will be no unilateral reduction in tariffs against China. The president has made it clear China needs to make a deal with the United States of America, and we are optimistic that will happen. And when that continues, it will be up to the president what the tariff rate on China will be. But we certainly need to see a reduction in tariffs and non-monetary tariff barriers from China as well. And we also need to continue seeing these companies abroad return their manufacturing to the United States of America, so we can shore up these critical supply chains.
Okay. Well, markets seem to be watching every bit of it, well off their highs of the session, but still up about 500 points today.
Yeah, it is headache-inducing to be sure. This next one, and maybe even more, because anytime you get numbers in front of these idiots, whether it be Donald Trump and his math about the tariffs and the percentages, it all falls apart. And here she's claiming that hundreds of countries have come to the table to negotiate. Remember, they said it was going to be 90 deals in 90 days to get all of this settled. And now they're saying, well, we have no deals, 0 deals, nada, zilch, nothing, no deals. But 18 countries are at the table, even though she also says that hundreds, we'll get into that number, hundreds of countries have come to the table.
Too long. And President Trump has brought hundreds of countries now from around the world to the negotiating table. We have 18 proposals on paper from nations around the world who recognize that they have, in fact, been ripping off the United States. And there's a president in the Oval Office right now who is no longer going to tolerate it. So this is the art of the deal. President Trump is using the leverage of the United States to bring nations to the negotiating table. That includes China, who he remains very optimistic there will be a fair trade deal with China that finally puts American workers and American industry first.
All right. I think what's likely here is that Donald Trump, or maybe even Karoline Leavitt, just Googled how many countries there are, and somewhere it says 205 countries. The problem with that is they are not all recognized countries. They are not recognized by the United States government as countries. And not even that. Donald Trump only levied his weird Liberation Day tariffs on like 180 something countries. So why would 200 come to the table? This is how many countries there are that are recognized by the UN. There are 195 countries in the world today. This total comprises 193 countries that are member states of the United Nations and 2 countries that are non-member observer states, the Holy See, which is the Vatican, and the state of Palestine, which the United States doesn't formally recognize as a country. And then you have to keep in mind that 6 countries were completely exempted from his Liberation Day tariffs, and those are Belarus, Canada, Cuba, Mexico, North Korea, and Russia. So if those 6 minus, it's 205 minus 6, you're already at 199. So how did hundreds of countries come to the table? Karoline Leavitt, just explain it. Listen, it might be a minor point, but I think it needs to be said. I think it needs to be understood that these people just run their fucking sucks. They just talk. There's no substance. You cannot believe that what she's saying is true because it's just a stream of consciousness, just like Donald Trump. There are not, most assuredly and factually, there are not hundreds of countries that have come to the United States to negotiate the trade deal. Untrue. It's a lie. What else can't we believe? I think the answer is self-evident. There's nothing that we can believe from this people, from the most important thing to the most minute thing. Nothing is believable from these people. What do you think? Where did I go wrong here? You can comment below, leave a comment in the comment section, or you can call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me as always, daily@dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. And I would love for you to help support this particular program. If you have the financial means, $2 a month, not if you're on a fixed income, not if you're on Social Security, not if you're on disability, but if you have an extra $2 that you just don't give a shit about, I give a shit about that $2. So you can become a channel member by clicking the join button below, or you can go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I love and appreciate you very much. I will see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another. Many of you are aware that my dear friend and brother of choice, not of blood, Brett McAfee, suffered a near-fatal medical emergency last summer while our families were on vacation in Scotland. I appreciate to no end the outpouring of support for Brett that you all gave. And I'm also very happy to report that he is safe and healing and working that long path of recovery. What I've probably not told you about Brett is that beyond being an excellent friend, he's also a talented writer. We have been the best of friends since we were kids, and I have been continually inspired by his creativity and by the truly singular take that he has on life. Over 2 decades ago, he wrote a poem called The Grateful Child. It's an acknowledgement of all the simple strengths that we tend to overlook. Written from the perspective of a young person, multiple grateful children express gratitude to their parents for the elements that make them who they are. The accounting of these everyday gifts inspires a clear reminder that we should not take anything for granted. I've shared Brett's remarkable poem with numerous people over the years, and a reoccurring response is that this should be a book. Well, we finally decided to listen to those people. The Grateful Child is not only a children's book for adults in your life, it's also an adult's book for children in your life. Everyone will appreciate its straightforward yet elegant celebration of life's little endowments. Click the link below to pre-order now, or simply scan this QR code and order your copy or copies today. But this being an illustrated book, we could not survive on the words alone. To pair with Brett's touching words, we searched all over for an illustrator who could bring The Grateful Child to visual life. We landed on somebody right here in the community from this show. Leah Farshid is an internationally acclaimed illustrator who, like you, is also an audience member. The moment we saw the first images that Leah drew to accompany Brett's text, we knew we had a perfect combination. It brings me tremendous joy to share my best friend's beautiful poem and Leah's spectacular images with the world. Everyone can benefit from The Grateful Child, just as I benefit from Brett's lifelong friendship. Share this beautiful book with your children. Share it with your parents or other relatives. The Grateful Child is an easy and exceptional way to show appreciation for someone in your life, young or old. Support someone you love and support this channel by giving The Grateful Child. Click the link below to pre-order now, or simply scan this QR code. I am pretty sure your children need a copy, and your mom. your nieces and your nephews, your Grandpa Charlie too. Don't forget Grandpa Charlie. I think he'd love this. Make the Grateful Child a part of your life. It has been such an excellent part of mine.